She spent like 15 grand building what she calls the ultimate VR gaming setup. Let me first show you what her rig does. But she's basically made kind of a high-end cobbled together haptic suits plural experience to make the game more immersive. It actually brings up a lot of interesting philosophical questions, but watch this.
No. This is an oboe suit. It's a haptic feedback device that produces real pain in VR using electrodes that go directly on your skin. It shocks you with electricity depending on what happens in a game. It's very painful.
Right? So she has basically a shock collar all over her body. I don't know what it's turned up to. I assume it varies based on the damage of the attack because she's playing Skyrim modded. So
on top of that, I'm wearing another haptic suit that produces vibrations and using a smart plug along with fans to simulate temperature.
Here she goes. So she's going to fight some people with swords and shit.
All right, time to test out my abilities.
I don't know why that hurt her. I guess even firing, I guess even shooting the fire causes it to hurt her. Which sort of would make sense if you're a wizard and you have fireball spells. You'd think, you're not Johnny Storm. You're not made of fire. So probably would be painful. Anyway. And so...
Should I jump off this cliff to see if it hurts?
Oh, yes, definitely. Jumping off cliffs is the best way to test your pain tolerance.
Watch this. This is great.
I'm doing it. Oh. Ow.
Because I guess she's got some things on her ankles that shock her as well. And then she fights here's she fighting a dragon. I mean, it's funny, but it's also fascinating, I think, because, it brings to mind these questions of, I've always had this theory that the reason we don't know what there is after death is if we knew, and there's a movie about this actually, but I think it's an accurate take, that if we knew there would just be a rash of people off themselves. Because it's like, it would just be like hitting a reset button. It's not whatever. I've had a really rough day. I got fired. I got divorced, whatever. Let me just end it. Go somewhere else. Well, video games really, unless you're kind of chasing your own internal desires, like, oh, I want to get a high score. I want to beat the game. I want to get a platinum trophy, whatever. There's no real problem when you turn them off or when you die. Really, Jaffe? We didn't know that. Yeah, it's true. But this is interesting because now it starts to add actual stakes that you can feel. It's kind of the physical equivalent of linking your bank account to your hit points. And, if you take damage, you lose money, right? The sense of fear and how you act in that world changes clearly. Like, I have to assume, unless you're a masochist, I can tell you I'm not. And if I was playing this game, I would approach this shit a lot more cautiously. And I think it's clear that that's what she's doing. And then the article, PC Gamer had some really interesting ideas. I like this one. It says, well, first they write, do we need to actually be hurt in real life to make a game more immersive? Immersive is a weird word. It means a lot of things. But certainly it would make it more tense. I honestly don't know for sure, they say, but I'd be the first to try it out. I would too. But listen, picture a horror game. I love this idea that uses randomized pulses of light to shock you, to make you feel on edge all the time. I would play the fuck out of that because then, you're just kind of walking down the hall and maybe you've got some control. Like if you aren't carrying the right items, your body will start attacking itself, like you've swallowed some weird parasite or something. And so you don't know. It could be never. It could be every 20 minutes. It could be every 5 minutes where this thing just jolts you and it hurts. You would be like on the edge of your fucking seat, man. That's some good stuff. Then it gets into a deeper question of, horror in general, or of like, ultimately, all of this is about avoiding pain. There's nothing conceptually that scary about Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th or Candyman. It's that you will die. At that point, it's just like, it doesn't even have to be a horror theme. It's just like, look, this thing's going to shock you and hurt you if you don't shoot 5 3-pointers in NBA 2K, whatever. That sense of horror would probably still be there, even though the trappings would have nothing to do with it. But anyway, this is really cool. And you goddamn right, I would play around with this. I don't know if I'd want a game like this all the time, but it's pretty fucking neat. I like it. I respect it.